Today we're going to be talking about mixed numbers and improper fractions, okay? So, a fraction is normally a part of a whole. So a 1/4 is less than 1, okay? A half is less than 1. But sometimes you can have fractions that represent something that's more than 1, and we call these improper fractions, meaning they're not normal fractions, they're not proper. Okay, so if you look up here, I have a number represented, and there's two ways that we can look at it, okay? So you'll see 4 wholes, so each of these is a whole. So you have, this is a whole, you have 1 here and you have 1 here, okay? So you have 1 square divided into 4 pieces, all 4 pieces are colored in. Another square divided into 4 pieces, all 4 pieces are colored in. And then you have this last square that's divided into 4 pieces, but only 3 pieces are colored in. So this would be 3/4, okay? So what you have here is a whole, and 3/4. So what you have here is 2 wholes and 3/4, okay? This would be what we call a mixed number, okay? There's another way to look at this number, okay? The other way to look at this number is, yes, this is a whole. My whole is made out of 4 pieces, and I have all 4 pieces colored in. So this whole can also be called 4/4. And this whole can also be called 4/4. And then this last one only has 3/4 colored in. So that is actually a total of 8. So 4 and 4 is 8, 9, 10, 11. So that's actually a total of 11/4. So that all of these together are 11/4, okay? Or you could say it as 2 and 3/4. This is what we call an improper fraction. Okay? An improper fraction is where the number, so this is an improper fraction, this is an improper fraction, this is not. So an improper fraction is a fraction that's worth 1 or more. Okay? So 11/4 is going to make more than 1. Because remember, the bottom number tells you how many pieces it takes to make a whole. So if you have 11/4, that means your squares are divided into fourths. So if you have 11 of them, you have 2 wholes and 3/4 left over. Okay, so there's 2 ways here to write the same thing. All right, now we have 2 things going on here. We have an improper fraction and we have a mixed number. So we can draw pictures to figure these things out, but there's also ways to figure these things out using math, okay? So you can change an improper fraction into a mixed number, and you can change a mixed number into an improper fraction. I'm going to show you an example using what's here, okay? So if we have the improper fraction of 11/4, let's say we don't have pictures, and we want to figure out what that would be as a mixed number. How many wholes are there in 11/4? What you would do is you would take the top number and divide it by the bottom number, okay? So there's your top number, there's your bottom number. Because what you're doing is you're seeing how many groups of 4 you can make, because each group of 4 will be a whole. So if you want to turn an improper fraction to a mixed number, you say, okay, top divided by bottom. I have 11/4, so I know that every time I have 4/4, it'll make 1, right? 1, 1. So if I do 11 divided by 4, 4 goes into 11 twice, which is 8, which you have up here, right? It makes 1 whole here and 1 whole here for a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pieces. All right, so we do that, and then we have 3 pieces left over. Now there's 2 ways that you can get rid of your remainder. In the very beginning of the year, we learned that you can turn your remainder into a fraction. And then we learned that you can keep dividing and make your remainder into a decimal. Well, since we're turning our improper fraction into a mixed number, we're going to make our remainder into a fraction. And remember, the way that you do that is you write your remainder here and you put this number underneath. So you have 2 and 3/4. So the 2 is how many wholes you have, and then the remainder is your fraction. Okay, so we kind of did this at the beginning of the year. And you can see that up here, that if you take all of these pieces, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 pieces. Each of those pieces is a fourth. And if you split it into groups of 4, you get 2 groups of 4. So you get 1 here and 1 here, and then 3/4 left over. All right? So that's what you would do. Now, you can also take a mixed number and turn it into an improper fraction. And there are times that you're going to want to do this, so it's a good skill to know. So we'll, just for an example, use the number that we have so you can see how it works, all right? So if you have 2 3/4, this 4 is important because it's telling you that you have fourths. So if you have 2 wholes, okay, you have 2 wholes that are made of fourths, 1 whole here and 1 whole here. So this is what you call the fraction wheel, or what I like to call the fraction wheel. What you do is you say, well, I have 2 wholes, and each whole has fourths in it. So I have to multiply 4 times 2, and that will tell me how many fourths are in 2. So 4 times 2 is 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. See how that works? And then I have 3 extra. So then I'm going to add those 3 extra fourths. So 4 times 2 is 8 plus 3 is 11. And you can see that up here. If you count them all up, you get 11. So you have 11. And 11 what? The denominator stays the same because you have 11 fourths. So that's how you would change a mixed number into an improper fraction. All right, we're going to go over this more in our centers, and I have some notes for you guys to take. So I'm going to stop right now so that you have time to take those notes, and then we're going to practice it more together.